It started with a phone call, one I'll never forget. I was at my desk, sifting through quarterly reports, when the front desk patched a call straight through to me. No name, just urgency. A low, nervous voice crackled on the other end. Sir, I work in your building. Every afternoon, a strange man picks your wife up and drives her to some high-end restaurant on the west side. Same time. Every day. I didn't breathe. I didn't ask questions. I didn't even thank the guy. I just stood there, still, my hand frozen on the receiver, my blood turning to glass. That night, I checked her purse while she showered. Inside, beneath her compact and a half-eaten protein bar, were unsigned breakup papers. Her signature was missing, but the line was there, waiting for it. Waiting for her to make it official. No conversations. No warnings. No therapy. Just silence and those damn papers. Her name is Amber. And the man she used to love? That's me, Jake. We've been married for 6 years. Or so I thought. But now I realize I was married to an illusion. A glossy, venom-laced illusion with red lips and cold eyes. A woman who once cried on our honeymoon because she never thought love could feel this safe. Turns out, she meant boring. I didn't confront her, not yet. I made a call to my lawyer instead. Quietly. Strategically. I filed for divorce behind her back. We had no prenup. But I'd done well for myself, and I knew how to play long games. My lawyer drafted everything under a confidential seal, so that when it all blew up, it would be in a courtroom. Like a detonation. I watched her closely the next few days. She didn't even notice. She was too busy hiding her phone screen, too busy sneaking away for yoga, too busy whispering and giggling like a high school girl drunk on someone else's cologne. I followed her once. Just once. Tuesday afternoon. She said she was going to a spa with her friend Madison. Instead, a black Tesla Model S rolled up 2 blocks from our house. She got in and kissed him. Full lips. No hesitation. Like she belonged to him. He looked like a GQ reject, overroomed, fake tan, smug jawline. Later I'd learn his name was Ryan. He was her personal trainer. The one she'd said was gay. They went to a place called Dahlia. Expensive. Intimate. The kind of place you book a private booth to keep your hands where no one can see them. I watched them through the window. Her hands all over him. The kind of touch that used to be mine. Used to feel sacred. Now? It looked choreographed. Practiced. I didn't cry. Not yet. When she came home that night, I was sitting on the couch. She looked surprised. Almost annoyed. You didn't say you'd be home early, she said, dropping her gym bag by the door like she hadn't just spent 2 hours doing things I couldn't even describe without choking. I just smiled. Didn't feel like the gym today, I said. She hesitated for half a second. Then she forced a smile, walked over, and kissed my forehead like I was some little dog waiting to be fed. And I let her. Let her kiss me with those same lips she just used to worship another man. That night, I dreamed of fire. Our wedding album burning in the middle of the street. She was laughing in the background, wearing white, holding hands with that smug prick. I woke up drenched in sweat, my fist clenched so tight my nails left crescent-shaped cuts in my palm. The next morning, I started preparing for war. But not the kind with fists or shouts. The kind where you wait until she's standing tall before cutting the ground out from under her. 3 days later, I walked into our kitchen and found Amber humming. She was baking muffins, blueberry, her guilt muffins. She only made them when she'd screwed up and wanted to fake wholesomeness. She turned to me with a grin that looked borrowed from a shampoo commercial. "Morning, babe," she said. "You want one?" I stared at her. The woman in front of me was dressed in soft pink cotton, hair braided like some Pinterest wife, flower on her cheek. You'd think she was prepping for a Sunday brunch, not scheming betrayal like a cartel accountant. "Sure," I said. "Why not?" She handed me one. "I was thinking we should go away for a weekend," she added, not meeting my eyes. "Reconnect. Just us." I bit into the muffin and chewed slowly. "Like a spa trip?" She blinked. "Yeah, exactly. Interesting choice of words. Spa. Like the one she told me she went to 3 days ago, when she was actually sipping Chardonnay with Ryan and doing God knows what under the table. Sounds perfect," I lied. "You book it." She smiled again. And I swear, I could see it, that tiny flicker of nerves in her eyes. The way liars always smile a little too long. Later that day, I found her phone unlocked on the bathroom sink. A miracle, honestly. Normally, she guards that thing like it's the launch code to a nuclear strike. I didn't even need to open her texts. The notifications told the story. "Ryan, you smelled like cinnamon today. I could eat you." "Ryan, Don't forget the excuse you gave Jake. Love you. Ryan. Wear the red one tomorrow. No panties. I felt my stomach twist, like it was trying to punch its way out of me. I scrolled further: pics, voice notes, hotel confirmations. She even had a list titled Excuses for Jake saved in her notes app. Number 4 made my hands tremble. Say I'm helping Madison through a breakup. Cry a little. The gaslighting. The planning. The level of manipulation was surgical. I didn't tell her I'd seen it. Instead, I went to the courthouse the next morning and handed my lawyer the final docs. Divorce. Lawsuit. Frozen assets. Full discovery. And a sealed motion for damages based on infidelity. He looked at me and asked, "You sure about this?" "I'm sure," I said. "And I want the court date expedited." Back home, Amber was on the phone. I stood by the door, just listening. "Of course I love you," she whispered. "I'm just figuring out how to end things without drama. He's so sensitive. I don't want him doing anything stupid." My jaw clenched. She paused, then said something that will stay with me until the day I die. "Don't worry. He still thinks I love him. He's such a sweet idiot." She laughed. I didn't move, didn't make a sound. Just walked upstairs, heart cold and quiet. That laugh, it was like a dagger dipped in acid. And somehow, I still wanted to scream why. But I didn't. That night, she wore the red dress. The one he asked for. I played my part. Complimented her. Kissed her. Let her walk out the door like I was some clueless husband watching his Barbie doll head to a charity gala. Then I sat at the kitchen table with a whiskey in my hand and the clock ticking toward Judgment Day. She had no idea what was coming. But I did. And I couldn't wait to watch the look on her face when everything exploded in that courtroom. Court date, Tuesday, 10 a.m. sharp. She didn't know. Amber thought she was headed to a brunch meeting with her friend Madison. What she didn't realize was that my lawyer had arranged for a process server to greet her with a gift bag full of reality, subpoena, divorce papers, and a nice little motion for punitive damages, all delivered to her cozy corner table at Dahlia. I wish I could have seen her face, but I had something better planned. You see, I didn't just want to leave Amber. I wanted her to watch herself fall. I wanted her lies to echo in a courtroom while she squirmed in heels too expensive for her budget once I froze the joint accounts. The morning of the court hearing, she was still asleep when I got dressed. She looked peaceful, innocent, even, curled into the pillow, one arm under her head like she hadn't been rehearsing breakup speeches in bed with her lover just days before. I poured coffee. Black. No sugar. She stumbled into the kitchen 10 minutes later, hair messy, eyes squinting like some cartoon of a loving wife. You're up early. I have court this morning," I said flatly. She paused. "Court? For what?" I looked her dead in the eye. "Business litigation. Just paperwork." She yawned. "You're always so busy lately," she said, kissing my cheek. "We really do need that weekend trip." I sipped my coffee and held back a laugh. "You're right. We do." At 10:05 a.m., Amber entered the courtroom, heels tapping on marble, hair sleek, face powdered like she was going to brunch with senators. Ryan was with her. Of course, in his blazer and smugness. They weren't holding hands. Too smart for that. But the moment they stepped in and saw me sitting at the plaintiff's table, the blood drained from their faces like someone had pulled the plug. The judge called the case number. Case 11984, Jake Matthews versus Amber Matthews. Amber froze. Ryan blinked. My lawyer stood. "Your Honor, we're moving forward on the complaint of infidelity, emotional damages, and concealed assets. The defendant has been served." Amber turned to me, lips parting. "Jake, what the hell is this?" "Court," I said, ice cold. "Like I told you." "But this is insane," she hissed. "You blindsided me." "No, Amber, you did that. With your panties off." Her face cracked. Ryan tugged at his collar, suddenly not looking so tan. I slid a folder across the table to the judge. Inside? Screenshots. Photos. Emails. Hotel confirmations. Every disgusting message. Every voice note. Even the one where she said she'd lie in court if needed. Amber's voice shook. "Jake, can we talk outside? Please." I didn't even look at her. "You've had months to talk. This is the only place you'll talk now." The judge reviewed the folder for 3 minutes in silence, then looked up and said, "We'll proceed to emergency hearing for asset freeze and temporary injunction." Amber sat down slowly. Her eyes were wide. Her lips moved silently, like she was trying to summon a lie but couldn't find the words. She looked at Ryan. He stood up and walked out. Didn't say a word. Just left her there, alone. She reached for her purse like she wanted to chase him, but the bailiff told her to sit. She did, barely breathing. When it was over, I walked past her. She reached out. Jake. I stopped, looked her in the eyes. You built your little throne on lies, Amber. Now you can sit in it. Alone. And then I walked out. Didn't look back. Not once. 2 hours after the court hearing, I sat in my car outside our house, watching the clouds roll in. The wind was picking up. Rain threatened, like even the sky wanted to wash away the filth Amber left behind. She still hadn't come home. Part of me hoped she wouldn't. But I knew better. Amber was too proud to disappear quietly. She would come back, mouth full of excuses, eyes full of fake tears, still thinking she could sweet-talk her way out of this one. She walked through the front door around 6 p.m., soaking wet and furious. You humiliated me, she said, dropping her designer bag on the floor. You made a spectacle out of me in front of him. I stayed seated on the couch, eyes locked on hers. You humiliated yourself, Amber. I just turned the lights on. She didn't even blink. You blindsided me. You think this is how adults handle things? No, I said calmly. Adults don't sneak around like horny teenagers and lie for months. Her eyes narrowed. Don't talk to me like I'm trash. You were trash, I snapped. I just didn't take out the garbage soon enough. That shut her up for a second. She stood there dripping, mascara smudged, like some villain caught mid-monologue. Then she tried the soft voice. The victim voice. Jake. I was lonely. You were always working. You never looked at me the same anymore. I laughed, dark and dry. You mean I didn't worship you like Ryan did when you let him unwrap you in hotel rooms? She flinched. Then her face twisted into something feral. You think you're so perfect? You think you didn't push me away? You made me feel invisible. No, Amber. You made yourself invisible every time you lied. Every time you climbed into another man's car and thought I was too stupid to notice. She didn't reply. She turned and stormed into the kitchen, grabbed a wine glass and poured herself 3 fingers of red. Didn't even offer me one? Typical. I followed her, leaned on the doorway. You were planning to leave, weren't you? She didn't turn. Yes. I just hadn't signed the papers yet. But you were ready. She finally looked at me. Yeah, I was. And the plan was what? Move in with Ryan? Parade around town with your new arm candy while I sat here like some ghost in a house we built together. She took a sip. I didn't think it would hurt you so much. That line hit harder than any slap. You didn't think betrayal would hurt me? She shrugged. You're tough. I thought you'd move on. I didn't think you'd do all this. I walked over to her, lowered my voice. Amber, I filed that lawsuit not to ruin you, but to finally end what we pretended was love. You killed this marriage. All I did was bury the body. She looked at me for a long time. Something in her broke then. Or maybe it finally revealed itself. The venom she'd been bottling up. You know what, Jake? She said. Ryan was better in every way. At least he made me feel something. You're just cold. Predictable. Dead inside. I smiled. Good. Then you won't miss me. I left the room and went upstairs to pack. My suitcase was already half full. She followed me halfway up the stairs, then stopped. Where are you going? Somewhere you're not, I said. Don't worry. The house is yours until the court decides otherwise. I slept at a hotel that night. A quiet one. No loud TVs. No perfume on the pillows. No lies. Just silence. And for the first time in months, I slept like a man who had nothing left to lose. The hotel room was nothing special. Beige walls, stiff pillows, a minibar I didn't touch. But it gave me what I needed most, distance. From Amber. From the lies. From the sound of her voice twisting every memory into something false. The next morning, I stared at the ceiling for an hour before I moved. My phone was full of messages. Amber, of course. Jake, please call me. We need to talk. You didn't have to do this in public. You humiliated me. Are you proud? This isn't over. She never once said sorry. Not once. That told me everything I needed to know. Around noon, I got a call from my lawyer. She's lawyered up, he said. They're already trying to negotiate, but we're holding ground. You sure you want to keep everything public? Every second of it, I said. I want her lies under oath. I want her squirming when she has to explain why her spa days ended in hotel rooms. He chuckled, a cold lawyer's laugh. Good. Then you'll like what I just got from Discovery. Bank statements from her personal account. She's been taking cash out in small amounts for months. Looks like she was setting herself up for a quiet exit. Any transfers to Ryan? I asked. Yep. A few disguised as consulting fees. Amateur hour. I hung up and stared at the wall for a while. She wasn't just cheating emotionally. She was preparing to drain me. This wasn't a broken marriage. It was a heist. That night, I drove back to the house to get the rest of my things. She wasn't expecting me. Amber opened the door in a silk robe, holding a glass of wine like she was in some trashy TV drama. "You're back," she said, cocking her head. "Changed your mind." "About you?" "Never," I replied, stepping past her. She followed me into the living room. "I've been thinking. Maybe we can slow this down. Not rush into divorce." I turned to her, stunned by how far she could stretch her arrogance. "You want to work it out?" I asked. She gave me a half smile. "You overreacted. You always do. We could go to therapy." Reset. "Amber, you were ready to erase me. I saw the documents. I saw the plans. And now that Ryan walked out of court like a scared child, you're trying to rebuild your safety net." She didn't even deny it. "I made mistakes," she said. "But you weren't perfect either." I laughed. "I was faithful. I was loyal. I gave you everything. And you spat on it. Then you tried to make me feel guilty." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "I didn't think you had it in you to fight back like this." I stepped closer. "That's your problem, Amber. You thought I'd stay quiet. You mistook my silence for weakness. But I was just waiting." "For what?" she asked, arms folded. "For you to hand me the match." "And you did." I finished packing my things. As I reached the door, she said, "If you leave now, there's no going back." I turned one last time. There's nothing left to go back to. And I left. She didn't follow. Didn't call. Not that night. But I knew I hadn't seen the last of her. Bitches like Amber never walk away quietly. They wait. They scheme. And they burn bridges only when they're sure they can float on the ashes. 3 days passed. 3 long, silent days. Amber didn't call. She didn't show up at my office. No emails. No more pleading texts. Just radio silence. But I knew better. When a woman like Amber goes quiet, she's not reflecting, she's plotting. On the 4th day, it began. It started small. My office manager, Julia, walked in with a confused look. "Hey Jake, did you really cancel the Washington contract?" "What?" I asked, nearly choking on my coffee. "Amber called this morning. Said you were shutting down deals for your mental health. Told us to pause operations until you send confirmation." I clenched my jaw. Don't ever take instructions from her again. She has nothing to do with this company. Julia nodded. I figured. But she sounded so damn confident. That was Amber's game. Plant seeds of chaos. Disrupt what she couldn't control. She couldn't touch my heart anymore. So now she wanted to mess with my reputation. I changed all passwords that day, banking, company access, even my damn Netflix login. She'd used it like she used everything else. Freely, carelessly, entitled. The next wave came that night. My mom called. "Jake, honey. I don't want to alarm you," she said softly, "but Amber came by earlier today." "What?" She said she just wanted to talk. She cried. Told me you were going through something, that she's worried you might hurt yourself. I laughed, bitter and sharp. She's playing the victim card. I didn't believe her, Mom added quickly. But she left a note. Said if I care about you, I should talk you out of this madness. Madness? That's what Amber called my reaction to being lied to, cheated on, emotionally gutted. No apology. Just PR spin. She didn't want me back. She wanted control. The next morning, I received an email from Ryan. Subject: you win. The body was short. She's more venom than velvet. I didn't know she was married when we started. She told me you were separated. She used me too. Don't think I'm proud. I just wanted to say, I'm out. Good luck cleaning up the pieces. I sat there reading that line over and over. She told me you were separated. So even her affair was built on a lie. She played him like she played me. And when he saw her real face in court, under pressure, he bailed. He never loved her. He just loved the fantasy she sold him. Amber, the master illusionist. She still had one last move. The night before our next hearing, I got a delivery at my hotel. A box. No return address. Inside, a photo album. Our wedding. Vacations. Random Polaroids. And a handwritten note. We weren't always broken. I'll always remember the good parts. Maybe one day you will too. I flipped through the pages. Our smiles. Our fake forever. And suddenly, something unexpected happened. My hand started shaking. Not out of rage. Not grief. Something colder. Something final. I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't angry. I was done. There was nothing left she could take. Nothing left to break. I put the box back together, walked down to the hotel lobby, and dropped it straight in the trash. Didn't even hesitate. Amber didn't understand that once a man truly lets go, you can't pull him back. You can cry. You can send love notes. You can rewrite the past all you want. But when the last bridge burns, all that's left is smoke and silence. The final hearing was set for Friday morning. Amber showed up 15 minutes late, dressed like she was heading to a fashion gala. Red lipstick, heels too high for a courthouse, and a confidence that screamed performance. She sat across from me, legs crossed, expression unreadable. Her lawyer, some guy named Clark with slick-back hair and crocodile charm, leaned over and whispered in her ear. She laughed like this was a casual brunch, not the dissection of our lives. But I noticed the cracks. Her eyes darted more than usual. Her fingers drummed against her thigh. She couldn't sit still. She was losing grip. And deep down, she knew it. The judge walked in. No-nonsense type. Female. Perfect. Amber's lawyer stood first. Your Honor, we'd like to motion for a private settlement. My client believes these proceedings have been unnecessarily public and damaging to both reputations. My lawyer didn't even rise. Your Honor, the plaintiff insists on public record. Full testimony. Full evidence presentation. This isn't about reputation. It's about truth. The judge looked at Amber. Mrs. Matthews, is that what you want? Amber's eyes flicked to me for a second. Just a second. I held her gaze, unreadable. Then she blinked. I'd prefer privacy. Motion denied, the judge said. You've had 3 months to file for sealed proceedings. We proceed. And just like that, it was time. Evidence was presented. All of it. Messages. Voice memos. Photos. Hotel receipts. Her pathetic excuses for Jake list. Each item dropped like a stone. And then came her testimony. She took the stand, voice trembling not from sadness, but from the pressure of her lies folding in on themselves. I never meant to hurt Jake, she said. I was just lost. I felt abandoned. Did you ever express this to him? The judge asked. I tried. No, I said from the table. You wrote it in secret goodbye letters and moaned it into hotel pillows. Her face flushed. I made mistakes. That's one word for it. Her lawyer interrupted. Objection, emotional outburst. Sustained, the judge said, though I caught a flash of understanding in her eyes. Amber kept talking. Ryan made me feel seen. Jake was cold. Absent. Were you aware that Jake was the sole income earner? My lawyer asked. Yes. And that he was working overtime to support your shopping, spa visits, and vacations? She hesitated. Yes. So you punished him for providing? No, she said softly. I was just confused. My lawyer nodded. And yet you managed to lie, coordinate hotel visits, schedule time for deception, and transfer funds secretly over the course of 9 months. That doesn't sound confused. That sounds calculated. Amber's silence was deafening. Later, when court recessed for lunch, I stood outside the courthouse steps, staring out at the street. Amber walked up behind me, heels clicking against concrete. You're really going through with this, she said. I already did. She touched my arm. I pulled away. I still have feelings for you, she said. You don't, I replied. You have feelings for the control you used to have. She looked hurt. We shared a life. No, I lived it. You rehearsed it. She looked away. I hope you're happy now, she said. I'm not, but I will be. She nodded slowly. You've changed. I turned to face her. No, Amber. I just stopped pretending. She stood there for a moment, mascara darkening under her eyes. The wind picked up. A storm was coming. Fitting. I turned and walked back into the courthouse. Behind me, I didn't hear her footsteps. No more masks. No more lies. Just one last hearing and then freedom. The final judgment came quicker than I expected. The judge didn't mince words. She laid it out clearly, firmly, without emotion, just facts. The evidence was overwhelming, the betrayal too calculated. Amber's crocodile tears hadn't moved anyone. If anything, they'd made it worse. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff, the judge said. Division of assets will reflect the breach of marital fidelity. All joint accounts frozen. Property awarded to Mr. Matthews. Alimony denied. Amber sat there in shock, her mouth slightly open, as if she'd misheard. She hadn't. Her castle of lies had finally collapsed. Not with a scream, but with silence. After court adjourned, I didn't linger. I walked straight out the doors, down the courthouse steps, into the cool afternoon light. It felt cleaner out here, like breathing fresh air after being locked in a burning house. Amber chased me down the steps. Jake. Wait, just wait. I turned. Slowly. Calmly. What? Amber. Her voice was shaking now. The courtroom poise gone. I can't believe this. You should believe it, I said. This was all yours. Every crack, every lie, you built this. She took a step forward. I didn't know it would end like this. No one ever does, I replied. That's why you think you can juggle fire and not get burned. Tears welled in her eyes. Real or rehearsed, I didn't care anymore. I lost everything today, she whispered. You lost me months ago, I said. Today, you just got the receipt. Her voice broke. You still love me, don't you? I looked at her for a long, quiet moment, then said the only truth left between us. No, I love who you pretended to be. She opened her mouth to respond, but no sound came out. I walked away. She didn't follow. I never saw her again after that day, not in person. I heard rumors, though. A mutual friend said she moved in with her sister, that she started working part-time at a boutique. Ryan was long gone, probably changed his number. She tried dating, but no one ever stuck. You can't build something real on ashes. Me? I didn't jump into anything. I traveled for a while. Spent time with my brother in Seattle, went hiking, drank beers that tasted like freedom, stared at sunsets that didn't remind me of her face. And slowly, something strange happened. I started laughing again. Not the polite, empty laugh I used during our last year together, but real laughter. The kind that shakes your ribs. I learned how to be alone and happy. A man who'd walked through hell and came out cleaner, colder, smarter. Now, when people ask if I'm okay, I tell them this. I was married to a lie, and I survived the truth. And when they ask if I'd ever love again, I say, only if the truth walks in with her. So here's my advice to anyone reading this who sees themselves in my story. If something feels off, it probably is. If someone lies once, they'll lie again. And if she laughs at your pain, walk away and never look back. Because the worst kind of woman isn't the one who cheats. It's the one who smiles while she does it. Amber was that woman, but she's not my problem anymore. I left the ashes behind. And now, I build in peace.